Good afternoon, my name's Tom, and today is a video about PDW applications in North Philly and Linesman in Texas, and how these two seemingly unrelated things, one can inform the other. Because when I was in my mid-20s and my enlistment was ending, and so was my time as a federal officer, and with the recession happening, it was increasingly apparent that the wait list for NYPD was never ending. My career in law enforcement was ending. Um, but I had friends who were like 21, 22, or 23, and occasionally they'd say, hey, I want to buy a PDW, I got to fill out the paperwork, and I put you down as a reference. And I'd always be like, well, what do you want a PDW for? And one of them in particular stood out. He said, for protection when I'm in North Philly. And I just looked at it, I was like, well, stay out of North Philly. Problem solved. And it's because, it's like, and I understand that's not like a 100% solution. I mean, if you got responsibilities, you have to be there. That's a thing. But if it's just I'm hanging out in an area where I don't feel safe to the point where I want to carry a piece, I don't need to be there. That's called looking for trouble. So, but yeah, I ended up filling out the paperwork for him. But we did have to have that talk about good decision making first. And now let's talk about how that can inform things when discussing Texas and Linesman. Because the post-hurricane response, it was off to a rocky start. Centerpoint Energy, they pulled some things that maybe were unethical, and they're really disorganized. So you have all these linesmen, thousands from across the country, showing up in bucket trucks, sitting in trucks waiting for the energy company to, pull its head out from where they stuck it. And that's upset a lot of people because they need power. But, A, you have to wait for the water to recede. B, you actually have to have the power company give you orders, tell you where to go to where the damage is. Because, if I'm a linesman from Kentucky or North Dakota or California, I don't know where to go in Houston. So, they actually have to be given orders, and that requires a level of organization. And let's face it, the Texas grid is hot garbage. Hot, deregulated garbage. So there's no consequence for being awful. And so, people get upset. Now, nearly 3 million homes were without power, and in a week, it's down to, as of the numbers I had this morning, was, I want to say 200,000, might have been 250,000. Now, to do that in a week that's not just a home run, that's a grand slam. But linesmen are already leaving and the job's not done. Why are they leaving? At best, people have been calling them names and throwing rocks at them. At worst, they've been threatened with PDWs and long arms. Some have been taken hostage. I have an account that says 2 of them were poisoned. Somebody brought them water laced with fentanyl. Places where they've been staying, people have been calling in phony baloney threats involving things that go boom. So they have to be evacuated. Why? Because the narrative is, they're just sitting in their trucks instead of working. They're sitting in their trucks waiting for orders to go fix something. And this is making it go slower when they've been moving like, a greased hurricane in terms of repairs. Seriously, the what they've achieved in a week is astounding. Now, I'm a journeyman wireman, which is not the same as a linesman, but I can be a ground man for a linesman. I can do disaster relief. I can do disaster relief on the use side of things. They do the transmission side of things with electricity. But I can go and I can be their groundman and I can work with them to a degree because I have a lot of the necessary training already. You can't let volunteers do this. That's how you get fried volunteers. And, well, these linesmen are leaving and they're never coming back because of this. And, me, it's like, well, what happens if I'm laid off and I don't want to wait around because work is slow in my area? I can travel. That's what a journeyman does. And I got a choice between disaster relief in Texas or in Houston or a stadium job in Buffalo. Well, Buffalo straight time pays more than overtime in Houston. Per diem in Buffalo is better than per diem in Houston. And maybe there's a sense of, hey, doing something nice, an act of service, helping people out is good, and I would pursue that, except not if I expect people to, well, like I said, if you're not comfortable being in an area without a PDW and you don't have to be there, stay out of North Philly. Or in this case, Texas. It's kind of scary. Right now, that place is more dangerous than North Philly. So, just some food for thought. When you see people sitting in trucks and you want to know why the power's not back on, they've been busting their butts. They may be on their lunch break. They may have just done 12 straight hours and they need another break before they go for another 3 or 4 hours. Or maybe an incompetent and deregulated industry doesn't know what to do with them and doesn't know where to send them yet. And so they're stuck waiting for orders. This is what you wanted if you wanted that deregulated industry. This is what you're stuck with until you decide you're done with that deregulated industry. Like, share, subscribe. For the people who are still suffering in Texas, I'm sorry. But that's what you are stuck with until enough people down there decide they want to change the way things are. Have a good day.